Hey, and welcome to Past Attractions Extra. And we're just going to talk about some extra things.
Extra. Sorry,
Extra.
we're gonna be DCMA right here right now.
Oh, is that how we're going to do it? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. This is just some extra stuff that we want to talk about that we didn't want to take up too much time in the original talk of the Super Mario Brothers movie. And this is talking about the future. Yeah. And we're going to be talking about just basically like what they were planning and what our imagination is. So if spoiler alert for 30 years ago that at the end of this movie everything was going well, Princess Daisy is decide to stay in the other world, as the princess to kind of help balance the world and everything like that. Mario and Luigi went back to their world along with Mario's girlfriend that I don't think they're married, but give or take, they're living together. They're all three of them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bam! Daisy comes in. She's full throttle with a shotgun with bullet bill straps, which that goes hard. Goes hard. I like that. And basically, she's saying, "Hey, I need your help. Stuff is going down." They reply, "What's going on?" She said, "You will never believe this." So, and that's where it stops. Of course, this never happened. It bombed in the box office. It didn't do well, as you can see where we're at right now. But we always wanted to have that mindset of like, what could have been? What could have been, Nom? And we might got a little bit of information about that because later on, due to, fan base or some ideas that some of the writers had, there was like a sequel webcomic that was talked about in the ideas that they have. And basically, oh, by the way, I found out what the name of the city is, so forgive me if we didn't mention this in the first one. But basically what they said is the adventures pick up with Mario and Luigi returning to Dino Hatton. That's what's the name of the city, Dino Hatton. And so to aid Daisy in defeating the mad scientist Wart, the final boss in Super Mario Bros. 2. They discuss about the world of the film from its backstory to the character's motivation. And basically, that's it. So for people that don't know, one, Wart was never a mad scientist. He was basically kind of like just another imitation of like a King Koopa. And for people that don't know about Mario 2, Mario 2 is basically kind of like a game that it kind of took over. There was another game back in Japan called Toki Toki whatever, and this game became Mario's 2 for American, and they kind of took that idea of it. And then you find out that at the end of this, Mario kind of had a dream about this whole thing. And but for people that probably also didn't know that the iconic character Shy Guy came from this game. So anyways, so the goal was they said they go back to Dino Manhattan and basically go save from a new antagonist named Dr. Wart. Which to me was more of like, okay, I see what they're going with that, but at the same time, I think they should have just skipped it and went to Super Mario 3 ideas in my head, because like a Doctor Villain for me doesn't give me that vibe that I would like that idea. I think they should go bigger for it, and Super Mario 3 was the most iconic video game of that 90s to me, other than like Super Mario World. For a Mario game, Super Mario 3 was humongous at the time, and just some of the clever ideas that they have and introducing new ideas for that, which we got introduced to the kids, that we got introduced to all the crazy elements of abilities from the raccoon outfit to the frog outfit and all that kind of stuff. We got the craziness of the different worlds that are not too same. Like you got the ice world, the fire world, and I'm not asking this movie should do that, but I'm just saying like even Super Mario 3 ante up what Mario 1 did and just went even more crazier for what it is. And yeah, I don't think Wart would have been a good villain for that. If anything, it should have been maybe some of the siblings try to take over. Like maybe the kids now take over. Yes, we saw Iggy and Spike, which they disappeared, right? From towards the end of the movie after Daisy got introduced to her father. They bounce. So like, who knows what they were up to? But maybe they got the kids and maybe they want to come back and do something different. Those are kind of some my opinions on what they could have, what I feel based on what they were doing here. What about you, Nom?
Well, I think somebody kills Yoshi and then Daisy goes John Wick on everybody. All right. So
I forgot about Yoshi. Yoshi's bigger because someone got to ride him.
in a PG way.
Yes.
That's a horrible idea for a sequel.
Yeah.
I, 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 I would love to see a pitch meeting for this.
Mm.
Like if they decided to do a pitch meeting, but I think if I were to imagine this world and this idea that Daisy needs help from the Mario Brothers to help Koopa Town.
Koopa Town. So you're not feeling Donald Haddon. That's not your that don't ring true to you.
No.
Okay.
No Dino Haddon. No Dino Haddon.
Jurassic City.
You know what I think would be really interesting is that she needs them to help her protect Dino Haddon. And who was Mario's main villain, like randomly in a video game that had nothing to do with Mario? DK. I mean, you accidentally de-evolved what ended up being DK. He gets really mad and has revenge and wants revenge on the entire town and the city. So he's running rampage on.
I see what you did there. On accident.
He's running rampage on all of with Dwayne Johnson. With actually, Dwayne Johnson could play DK.
Was he be old enough though for the time? That's interesting to think about.
No, he wouldn't, but he can do DK now.
Okay.
Big enough.
Okay.
But no, I do think it would be interesting that it'd be like a good guy, bad guy, like feel for it. Like it's a bad guy, but deep inside he's really a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to play on that aspect of things, especially for the second or a sequel, right? They did a really good job of doing that in like, Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, where he was just like a good guy that turned into a bad guy and then had remorse and then became a good guy again of sorts. I think you could do the same thing with DK in this one, and not the Drift King, but Donkey Kong. He could definitely be the main villain in this one, especially since he was throwing barrels and crap at Mario when Mario was trying to save the princess or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be interesting if they played it in that aspect, but also used the Super Mario Brothers 3 ideas to help him defeat or bring back DK into like a regular form. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be interesting.
I think it'd be more fun. I'm gonna go a different way with this. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I think that makes perfect sense of DK taking the next role, but I think due to where this movie is setting next and the popularity of the Game Boy, I feel like Wario should be the antagonist for this, because Wario has never been in a movie before. And the fact that it would have been so interesting of maybe when Mario saved the day with Luigi, that some guy out there was so inspired that he wants to be just like him in that world, but he just does it the baddest way ever, and he becomes Wario.
Yeah.
I think that will work. Yeah, sure, you might throw Waluigi in there as a fun joke, even though Waluigi only exists in the sports games, but the fact that we got a guy that's so obsessive, like, I want to protect Daisy. I want to be her. I want to be her hero. And that's where we get this obsession guy that becomes dressed in yellow as Mario. And he's just gross and disgusting and everything like that. And sure, maybe you could throw DK in there because, like, he could, like, use the tools, that they're given to him to do that. And that would have been very interesting because I think a lot of people don't know that Wario actually premiered in the Super Mario Land Game Boy games. And I thought that would be funny. I think he would fit in that world for that. And of course, I think that maybe we can finally get some Toads in here, because Toads are a race, not just a name alone of a mushroom person. They're called Toads. I think that would have been interesting in that way. Someone has to ride Yoshi. Like, there got to be a battle, because riding a dinosaur is awesome. Okay.
It would have to be Toad, though. Toad would be the one that's small enough to jump on Yoshi and ride Yoshi.
Well, Yoshi should be bigger, in my opinion, right? He should get older.
He should be. Should be.
But we don't know. I don't know how far off, how many months or a year between those. Let's be truthful. It's probably like a couple of days after the event they come back. So Yoshi probably never grown a bit.
Fell in love with her. Leguizamo and Daisy hooked up in like a day. So I mean.
Yeah.
By that timeline, it's like 2 days later.
Which is funny, right? Because that movie felt like it took place in one day, I believe. In a
Yeah,
weird
it
way.
really did because she never changed clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Like the reference we're talking about, like Wizard of Oz. It just felt like it was just one fun moment for what it is. But my issue would be, what would be the big motive of both antagonists that we have created? Like, what is your Donkey Kong's motive, and what is my Wario's antagonist motive? Is it to take over the city? Is it just straight revenge for what it is? You know, what would be the MacGuffin for your idea?
Oh yeah, no, most definitely it's revenge, right? It's revenge for turning him into a freak and
Okay.
giving him, and actually not necessarily the whole like de-evolutionizing him, but it just turning his body that way. So it becomes more like a Planet of the Apes type of thing,
Okay.
where like he's smart and he's just now pissed off that he's got this body and that he's just like, well, if you guys don't like mammals, then I'm gonna show you what this is all about because he's in this world. So yeah, it's
Okay.
revenge for turning him into what he is, a monster that he is.
Okay. I think it would be obsession for my character. He's just so obsessed of trying to be a hero in Dial Hatton so much that he becomes a villain himself of doing it. Feel like that, he has to protect Daisy from everybody so she doesn't get hurt, to, almost like a vigilante kind of thing, just trying to shape the city. Like, it's one of those, like, the city needs a hero, but they don't need a hero kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Like, we're good. We don't need anybody. We'll figure it out. Koopa's gone. But he's like, no, I'll do it. And he just becomes so obsessed that he just becomes kind of like insane in that aspect. And when you talk about your Donkey Kong, it reminds me of like the penguin from the Batman Returns. It kind of gave me that kind of gave me the idea that you were thinking of. And so, and to me, I guess I was thinking of the Incredibles. A guy that was so obsessed that wants to be a hero that he becomes a villain. And of course, I think one of the things is we have to see, and maybe you could disagree with this, but I feel like we have to see the city in development, right? Like, we need to see the city improving, but still a wasteland for what it is. Like, we're seeing improvement. Because we saw towards the end of the movie where they were already whiting out about King Koopa on the posters and everything. So, like, people were cheering and trying to change stuff. So we need to see the city either like, kind of like if you played a game like Dying Light 2, where like you see half the city looking good, the other half of the city is not looking good. But maybe that could be an internal civil war or something there. Like some people don't like change, or somebody's trying to stand up for something. I don't know. But we definitely have to see something different as they're going back into this world again. Which is funny because I'm like, how would they get to the world again? Does that mean like the sewer stuff would not be closed off anymore? Like, they have to go through that magical wall again? I don't know how that would work. Now,
they go through a big pipe.
Sure. They haven't done one pipe. Well, they did a pipe. They did one pipe with the bed thing, but still. Yeah. That would probably make more sense. So there's more portals that we don't know of.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so, yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. For that, I think that's better than definitely Wart, because I don't feel like you don't have to follow exactly every game. You just need to follow like who would be a great antagonist in the library of Mario.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna do that, like, honestly, I would love to see a sequel and be Luigi's Mansion with like John Leguizamo.
Okay.
I would be interested in seeing that and letting Boo be like the main antagonist in that one. Like, I was thinking about how you would bring Boo and make Boo like the main villain in just a Super Mario Brothers live action movie.
Okay.
Because I mean, you could do it. You can make Boo not necessarily a ghost, but you can actually make him an actual character in this movie. But no, I'm gonna stick with DK. But Boo was the other person I was thinking about.
Okay. Not like a Ghost in the Machine that just becomes alive. He's like a projection monster or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be an interesting thought. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when you said that, I thought about like Ghostbusters. Like,
yeah.
Something that just occurs. Or hell, if you really want to get weird with it, maybe King Koopa somehow comes back, but he comes back as like ghost or something, and he becomes a Boo. because like there is a King Boo
Yeah.
in the
That's
Mario
true.
universe in that way. Weirdly enough, I don't think I want that, but I'm just saying like if they really want to get cheesy with it, that could be something like that. But you know, you do have, and I think Big Bertha really represents Berto from Mario 2. I think
Yeah.
that's where they got the name for that. Because weirdly enough, you know, these characters we forget. I think they're all born from eggs.
Oh, yeah,
The looks of it. So, you know, Berto shooting eggs would be kind of like, you know, kind of a murderous kind of creature for what it is. That would be not the best idea. Or hell, piranha plants don't exist yet. What about a piranha plant? I mean, there is a PD piranha. Like I thought, like, you know, well, let's be honest here. Like the piranha plants basically represents like Venus flytraps for what they are. I think that it would have been cool in the second one to see some piranha plants exist in some sort of way, in a dark way, like maybe like the castle or where a princess is all wrapped up in vines and stuff, and they have to make their way for it. Hell, I think that was a missed opportunity in the movie to have some piranha plants somewhere in these buildings. That would have been better than the fungus. If you were saying you're not a big fan of the fungus stuff, like maybe like the vines and plant stuff would have been better for what it was. So
No, I completely agree with you. Like I think that would be the best way of doing it, but I wonder if they wanted to stay away from doing something similar to that because of the Little Shop of Horrors. Like, because that's basically what it is, right?
Okay.
But I mean, that tells you could easily do something like this because you've done a movie called The Little Shop of Horrors that was almost exactly like what a piranha plant should be.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, they might have gotten that as the idea.
You could be 100% right. I don't know where they came up with the idea of their piranha plant, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't surprise if that was not an influence in some shape or form, because that movie came out way before, I believe, the video game, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I have to remember. I think the movie came out in '86, so it might be one of the movies that we talk about in the past attractions.
Yeah. But I believe that's all my thoughts that I would like to see as a sequel for the Extra, and I think that's all you wanted to say about it. But what about you guys? What do you want to see in your imagination if this movie got a sequel? What you want to see? Are you comfortable for Wart to come in? You know, maybe a shy guy can be an antagonist, a character. I would love to see a shy guy. I would love a person like and dressing all red. Maybe they look like a cult and they just wear shy guy masks. I don't know. That'd be funny. But anyways, like, what would you like to see in this imagination if this Mario movie was successful and they got a sequel to it? Leave a comment down below. Tell us your thoughts and concerns and all that stuff. And we will see you next time